Hello everybody, what is up and welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Liz, and today we're going to be discussing 5 more urban legends that have kind of kept with us. Some people may not have heard of these, but I know some people have. So, in our last video we talked about the first 5, we're going to be talking about the next 5. Starting off with Charlie No Face. This urban legend has haunted Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for years, and according to said legend, a severely burned, very burned faced man walks around an abandoned train tunnel at night and is said to make the electricity go a little haywire when he's in the tunnel. Sometimes teenagers were so curious that they would try and catch some glimpses of him, but it turns out he was actually a real person. But Charlie isn't his name. Raymond Robinson was left with a severely disfigured face after quite a horrific accident with an electrical line. Now, because of his accident, he became a recluse, which most people become quite reclusive people after such a disfiguring accident can occur to them, or just anything traumatic. And he would only come out at night, but he didn't hunt anyone, and he was actually pretty friendly, and he would let teens take pictures in exchange for cigarettes. So he would literally sit there and pose for them as long as they paid him with cigarettes, which I find that very, very interesting. The Polybius game, or Proto-Myths, is our next legend. So Polybius was a video game that apparently was only out in Portland, Oregon in 1981 for 1 month. Well, this game was designed as a psychological experiment run by the government. Some of the players that played this game would experience seizures and night terrors and suicidal thoughts. Also, apparently, after some would play this game in the arcade, some government official workers would come and extract information about those players that played this game. Now, this game is most certainly not real, but some aspects of it are quite real and similar to reactions to the video game called The Tempest. This was released in 1981, and it did cause some people to experience severe motion sickness and epileptic symptoms. Apparently, the FBI did inspect some of the arcades around the United States and even in Oregon at the same time, but they just said it was gambling. The Shotgun Man of Chicago, Illinois. This urban legend is based on an assassin or a spree killer in Chicago. Now, these murders actually took place, and they targeted the Black Hand extortionists in the 1910s. This spree lasted from the 1st of January of 1910 to the 26th of March of 1911 at the Death Corner, which is where Oak Street meets Milton Ave, and it's now called Cleveland Avenue, in Little Sicily. In March of 1911, it was reported that 4 murders took place within a 72-hour period. Each killing that the Shotgun Man had innocent bystanders that were watching as it took place. But the Shotgun Man was never found. He disappeared from the Little Italy borough before the end of Prohibition, and he haunts that neighborhood to this day. Loyon. This humanoid figure appears in a strange cloak, a boiler suit, and a gas mask. There was a photo taken of this said creature, but it is unknown if it's a hoax or not. For about 10 years, this figure had been seen around Mals Forest in Switzerland. At some point, the supposed clothes of La Loyon and a suicide note of some sorts was found, and this note simply was translated as it saying that La Loyon decided to commit suicide. The ultimate mystery is whether this is actually real or if it's a hoax, or if it was a prank. What do you think? And lastly, we have the Slitmouth Woman at Kisaragi Station. A child passes a woman and she asks if she's pretty. The frightened child answers her in a simple response of yes. The woman says, "Even like this?" As she says this, she removes the mask to reveal her face with a slit from mouth to ear, aka a Glasgow smile. This scary tale originates in Yaosu around 1978. There was an older woman who stood at the corner of a garden with slits from mouth to ear. This was printed in local newspapers, and the legend grew from there. Some say she carries a sickle, some say she carries a mask and a red coat. Some speculate if you give her a hard candy, you can get away. There was a haunted house attraction, the Narrow Road Terror, of which showed the slit-mouthed woman, and it ran from 2012 to 2019. They ran this to show that the urban legend can be truly scary and frightening. Now, this legend has been translated in many different ways and on many different platforms.